First up on day 5 of the Louis Vuitton Trophy in La Maddalena were the Russian team on Synergy, undefeated in the regatta so far and leading Mascalzoni Latino as they turned for home. It had looked a little processional for a while, but slick work up the second beat saw the Italians close the gap and move within striking distance. And strike is just what Gavin Brady did as he spotted Synergy moving into a jibe. Brady looked like he was following suit, but instead held his course and closed the gap before completing his jibe. The Italian boat was now on the Russians' air, and skipper Karol Jablonski was under Brady's cosh as Mascalzoni Latino gradually rolled over Synergy. Out came the protest flags as the Italians accused the Russians of failing to sail a proper course. Synergy eventually pinged with the blue flag flying on the umpire boat.
Okay guys, be ready with the jib and everything.
Again, Synergy tactician Rod Dawson pulled out the yellow and red flag in a bid to offset the penalty. Instead, the umpires flew a second blue flag, which effectively ended the Russian challenge. Mascalzoni Latino inflicting a first defeat on Synergy, while improving the Italian scoreline to 3-1.
It was all on all the way to the finish, and obviously we both jibed and they were luffing us, and we just broke the overlap. Probably very close to us getting a penalty, but fortunately it was green flag. It was right down to the edge there. I'm sure the umpires were pushed pretty hard, especially after yesterday's crashes. I'm sure they're trying to think of the boats a little bigger than they are. But those guys had to jibe to the finish on a proper course violation. They had a 17 overlap on us, which means that they have to jibe proper course and they can't hold us past the finish. So they took us a little too far, and that's where they got the double penalty. It was very close, tough decisions, and you got to hand it to both teams there.
And Synergy's day was not about to improve as they took on Emirates Team New Zealand, with the Kiwis making the most of their starboard entry advantage to take the power of the right off the line. On an even course, that right-hand side, right of way, would prove to be king. After a big separation, the boats began to converge again, and each time it was the starboard advantage that kept Team New Zealand in the box seat. It remained tight around the course, the boats tied as though by elastic. Dean Barker easing the New Zealand boat ahead, only for Karol Jablonski to haul him right back in.
Runner mode.
A split at the bottom mark failed to break the deadlock, the boats still close as they came together again.
Runner mode! Yeah.
Turning for home, Jablonski was hard on Barker's heels, and the Kiwis were in a seriously defensive mode as the Russians attacked.
No problem. I got tab. Normal mode.
As the finish line loomed, it became a real nail-biter for the Kiwis, who found themselves in softer air as Synergy carried pressure down. The gap shrank rapidly, but Emirates Team New Zealand sneaked home by just 4 seconds, the tightest margin of the regatta so far.
We got our starting plan we wanted and sailed well, really well up the first beat, had a nice little lead, and really nice crew work downwind, had a nice little buffer. We took opposite gates and they made a bit of a gain out of that exchange. We sort of protected the right hand side of the course, and they made a bit of a gain. It was very close at the top mark, and it was particularly tricky down the last run. We were just sailing into softer breeze, and they sort of came at us a few times, but we managed to hold off for a good win. But that was a tricky race course, that one.
The closest race was followed by the breeziest, with a Sirocco wind from the southeast kicking up nicely as James Spittle, at the helm of BMW Oracle Racing, looked to break the American boat's duck with a win over All for One. It wasn't shaping up well for the America's Cup holders. Sebastian Coll able to live to windward of Spittle, with the Franco-German alliance leading into the top mark. This, though, was very, very tight, just 6 seconds separating the boats as they rounded the buoy. The jibing duel was on, and initially synchronisation maintained the status quo. Then came All for One's less than perfect effort.
40 to the mark.
And like every mistake in this racing, it was seized upon with glee. Spittle rolling BMW Oracle Racing past Coll and Co. All for One tried to battle back at the bottom mark gate, but their protest flags generated a negative response from the umpires. Spittle and tactician John Kostecki had the upper hand now and played a canny covering game to see the American boat finally get a point on the board. The winning margin, just 6 seconds.
Yeah, good race, close start, close action all the way, really, around the track. Crew work on our part seemed to be a little bit better. That's where we were able to pass them on the first run and around the bottom mark in front. So then we were able to control from there.